Hello, everybody. Awesome to see you chiming in. Some familiar names there. Hello, hello, hello. While everyone's just logging in slowly, get the chat up. And I want you to tell me where you're tuning in from. Type it in the chat. Where are you sitting right now in the world? Hobart. Awesome. Lennox. Brizzy. Canberra. Yes. KI, love KI. Amazing. Melbourne. Can you guys also let me know that you can hear me okay? Give me a yes if you can hear me all good. Just want to make sure my audio is okay. Yep. Sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. We'll just wait a couple more minutes for everyone to jump in, get cozy, get your cup of tea. How good's my shark? Bit of a corny background, but I thought it added effect. In a caravan. Yeah, loose. Nice. Sydney. We've finally got some cooler weather on Lord Howe, and I've gone a little bit over the top and making cups of teas and wore a beanie today, but it's the cool change is definitely welcomed. It's been so hot and muggy over here. I'm on Lord Howe Island for those that don't know. This is always going to be a bit of an experiment. We had over 100 people register. So we'll see how many we get through. But of course, the time's not going to suit everyone, and I am recording it for those that can't make it. Hey, Tamara, glad to see you there. I just saw your email, so happy to see you here. Hello. We'll wait one more minute, guys. Alrighty, we're going to get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Do, do, do. Bear with me. Alrighty, here we are. Can everyone see that first slide on their screen nice and clear? Tell me yes in the chat if you can see it there. Sweet, thank you. Awesome. All right. Amazing. So great to see so many names that I know and some new names in there. Lovely to meet you via the chat, not necessarily face to face, but through a little live webinar. So a little bit of housekeeping, guys, before we get going. The chat is supposed to be super collaborative. jump in if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them as we go, get involved and ask away. At the end of the slides, I'll do a little Q&A. So if you have any questions that require some lengthy answers, save them till the end and we can dive into them a little bit later. Beautiful. So this evening, I'm going to be sharing my top 3 things that I believe are required to master your effortless freediving ability. So they all intertwine in a way, but they're my top 3 things that will, I hope, will maybe shift the way you think about freediving or enhance how you already are freediving. So at the end, I'm also going to be sharing some exciting news for Live for the Sea for our community. This is a new and a first for Live for the Sea. So I hope you guys are okay if I share something with you at the end. Let me know if you guys are also okay for me to share some exciting news with you in the chat. Beauty. So, who is keen to learn how to dive deeper for longer? Tell me who wants more mind-blowing interactions with marine life. I know I always want more. Yep, 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 yep. Awesome. So you're in the right place. This is what we're going to be learning today. So 3 different things that are going to shift, hopefully 3 elements in your freediving toolkit. So number 1, how to increase your breath holds. Number 2, the best way to harness a smooth technique. Number 3, how to equalize with ease to dive deeper. And they all intertwine amongst each other. So a lot of people might be feeling like they can't hold their breath because they're not fit enough. Maybe they're feeling like they're too old. You find technique super hard. It just isn't something that comes naturally to you. You've had equalization barriers. You're finding that you're hitting a place in the water column and you just can't get any deeper. Or perhaps you're wanting life-changing marine interactions. I'm hoping that this evening is going to enlighten some of these areas for you and know that ultimately, at the end of the day, as humans, being mammals, we are all already freedivers, just as you are, sitting wherever you are. In Australia, it sounds like you're already halfway there just by being human and alive. So I would love to know. I always like to know a little bit about why you guys are here. In a couple of words, you can tell me what you want to gain from this evening's masterclass. Like, what is your main reason for wanting to stay deeper for longer? Let me know in the chat if you're open to. Catch a big crayfish. Love it. Growth in my freediving journey. Yes, amazing. Bring a crayfish home, hey? Cook it for the family. Hold breath longer to see animals for longer. Awesome. Hang out with the fish and critters underwater for longer. How to remain calm whilst freediving and see more marine magic every breath hold. Love it. To not have to scuba to see marine life. Hell no, Tamara. I mean, scuba diving is amazing, but freediving is another level of connecting further down and hang out longer. Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Amazing. Sounds like everyone is ready to dive in. So let's go. I'm Liv. For those that you don't know, I'll do a little introduction about who I am and why I am here, why I can teach you all these things. So I'm currently on Lord Howe Island. I'm out here running my adventure tourism business, which is essentially daily activities from taking people on privately guided snorkels around the island. There's so many phenomenal places to explore around this island on a single breath. I'm also running introductory freediving courses, so very entry level. It's not a full course, but it's just an introductory to the world of freediving. And then I'm running level 1 to advanced freediving courses for either tourists or I get a lot of seasonal crew that are keen every season, which is always super fun. And amongst that, I'm also the skipper for the dive shop out here. So taking divers out to explore around the island. We get thrown with all sorts of conditions. At the moment, we've got about 2 meters swell and, well, 30 knot winds today is a little bit wild. And I am a scuba instructor as well. I'm a surfer. I love sailing. Anything on the ocean, I love to do. Also love yoga and hiking and all things environment, which is why I'm stuck at, no, not stuck, still sitting on this island because, to be honest, I haven't found somewhere where you can access wild nature on your doorstep like this. Feeling very grateful for where I live. So qualifications, I am a Molchanov's freedive instructor. I did my initial instructor's course in 2018. I studied a Bachelor of Environmental Science and majored in marine biology. I completed that down on the Great Ocean Road in Warrnambool with Deakin University. I'm a commercial skipper, so coxswains, scuba instructor as well, first aid and all things lover of the ocean. So I launched Liv For The Sea in 2018. It started as a place to inspire others to, one, connect to the ocean, but two, to inspire change within them to live for the sea. Um, so this vision and dream kind of sparked in Hawaii when I was studying overseas. Yeah, well, back in 20, when was I there? 2015. And it's expanded to be, yeah, a platform to share what I see and hopefully inspire others to get out there and see it. But also a place where I can build a community of ocean lovers to learn how to use their body to the best of the ability to explore it in a way that I know will change you forever and ultimately, yeah, make you shift some changes in your life that will better the ocean and the marine environment as a whole. So yeah, we're now freediving adventure tourism business. I've taught hundreds of people to freedive, from very, very beginner people that have no idea how to swim. That was my actually very first student. He had no idea how to swim, and he dived straight into a freedive course. Absolute good on him. That was interesting. And then everyone in between. So I have taught people such as Hamish Blake. He came out to the island and we worked through some serious childhood barriers of anxiety and this fear of breath holding, to 78-year-olds who have completely smashed their expectations of what's possible at their age. And I think the beautiful thing about freediving, and there's this huge misconception that age and fitness is such a part of it. And we need to shift that because it's not the case. It doesn't matter how old you are. You have the total ability to give this a go. You just need the willingness to experiment and try. So freediving as a whole has come pretty naturally to me, not in the way where I'm breaking records and, pushing my limits to the absolute max, but in the way where I've always felt super comfortable underwater at depth, and submerged beneath this incredible blue force. Um, I've always struggled with static breath holding, I'm going to be honest. That's been my most challenging discipline since the start. But depth has more so come naturally. I reached my first real barriers with equalization when I was aiming for 40 meters. However, this is all shifted. Well, that's a long time ago now, but at the moment, or now, I can effortlessly freedive to 50 meters. Equalization comes easy. My technique comes naturally, and ultimately the breath hold and relaxation that comes with that is almost an instinctive reflex that comes when I'm in the water. And so I really hope that I can instill a little bit of this in you guys tonight and beyond. So, what is effortless freediving, you might ask? A term I've made up, but I love the sound of it. It's to dive beneath the water's surface in a flow with the ocean's conditions, which are forever varying and changing, without tension, without anxiety, and without fear. Who has felt one of these things once upon a time in their life in the ocean? I know I have, and to be honest, there are times where I still do feel elements of or glimpses of fear when I'm in the ocean. Tell me, say me if you're one that has felt a little bit of fear or tension or anxiety build up in the ocean. Yeah, yep. So you guys, we're not alone there. The ocean is a very unpredictable place and one that we can't take for granted, but there are things that we can learn that can make us feel stronger and more confident in the ocean. So I'm going to start with our number one thing. So we're going to run through the three topics here. This is the first one that we're going to head into, and this is how to increase your breath holds. There you go, Lucy and Linda looking amazing there, and Gemma. So increased breath holds gives you more time to connect to marine life. It gives you more time to explore further, take better photos, and most importantly, think and act in safety scenarios or situations when things might change quickly in the water. So when we're not comfortable with our breath holding ability, naturally the rest of our dive can deteriorate, like equalization, your technique. I think the breath hold as a whole is kind of the foundation to everything else flowing freely. So, what is the key to increasing your breath holds? Now, a few of you may have heard this before, and I know a few of you in here have been my students. Will know this, but it's always good to reiterate. But relaxation is the number one key to maximizing your bottom time and increasing breath holds. So, if you think about it, a calm mind and body won't panic under stress. You can compare it to daily life. A calm mind and body can comfortably sit in discomfort. Ultimately, breath holds can be an uncomfortable feeling, and it comes down to a mental ability that is happy to sit present in that discomfort. And a calm mind and body has the willingness to push. So again, this links to daily life where we wake up one morning and we don't feel like we want to go for that run, or we don't feel like we want to have that hard conversation with our boss or whatever it is. And this links directly to breath holding or free diving. And I always say to my students that to not push this, sometimes you're going to have days where you're waking up and you're like, yep, I'm ready to push my limits. I'm ready to push my boundaries. And other days you're like, no, I want to play comfy and I want to take it easy on my body. So it's always super important to listen to this. I'd love to know in the chat, if you know, what is your current comfort range of a breath hold? So you can tell me in seconds or in minutes. Do you have 20 seconds that's comfortable before you feel that urge to breathe? Do you have a minute of comfort? Maybe you have 2 minutes of comfort if you're a lucky one. Um, but I'd love to see what you say in the chat. And if you're not sure, just drop an N for not sure, um, because a lot of us might still be figuring out our breath hold journey or breath hold limits. Yeah, cool, guys. 30 seconds, 40, 45, 20 seconds. Not sure. Awesome. Well, good on you guys for those that aren't sure that you're jumping in here and trying to see how to get there, how to have the most time of comfort. Around a minute. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's cool, guys. That's a lot more than me when I first started out, I promise. Awesome. So I'm going to share a little story with you. It's one where I've learnt that relaxation, whether it be on the surface, during static, or at depth, is just as crucial to your breath holds. So I was in Indonesia. I was doing my advanced freediving course. And at this specific place, the bottom of the weight of the dive line was set to 30 meters, but it hit the bottom on this slope of this essentially volcanic sea floor that dropped down. So the float was at the top, the line dropped down, and the bottom of the weight was on the sea floor. And at this time, well, I still do, but diving with my eyes closed because it was a space that I could go to find the most relaxation without any visual stimuli. And it was one of my first dives to 30 meters, if I can remember correctly. And I hit the bottom with my head at 30 meters. So you can imagine the rush of adrenaline that was sent through my body. Um, and yeah, definitely glimpses of fear, but I just remember at that time I was like, I need to stay calm here. I'm 30 meters below the surface. I need to stay calm and I need to work out how I'm going to get myself safely to the surface. So I remember turning around and I felt this huge wave and rush through my body. And I just felt oxygen deplete super quickly just from that being frightened from that impact. And I told myself that I cannot react to this. I cannot panic because that's only going to make things worse, especially at this depth. So I went into what I call is my poker face, and I made sure I didn't show it on the outside what I was feeling on the inside. And I went through normal procedures of getting myself up to the surface. But as I was ascending, I was feeling blackout symptoms rise within me. So my body started to feel warm. I started to feel tingling in my extremities. And I just noticed my consciousness cloud and almost somewhat lose the idea that I was underwater. And at 10 meters, I met eyes with my buddy, my instructor, and he knew that something wasn't right just with how I was looking at him. And the final symptoms that came in of a blackout for me was the tunnel vision. So everything just starts to turn black around your eyes. And I just remember signaling to him on the other side of the line that I'm no good. And I managed to surface and do my recovery breaths and come good. And for me, this was just a huge lesson of that relaxation ultimately saved me from becoming unconscious at depth, which would have been a very different outcome. And that's a message that I want to pass on to you guys is that whether it's static or depth and fear comes and arises, you must surrender and you must relax and not act on that. Who, sorry, maybe not a heavy story. I was conscious, guys, and everything came good. It was a great lesson and one that I love to share because it's a good lesson to pass on to you guys. Who knows that they can definitely increase their relaxation in their dives or their bottom time? Tell me in the chat. You might think you have a level of relaxation, but who thinks that there's definitely more there to discover? Yeah, awesome. Always more. Cool. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing, amazing. All right. Number two, guys, smooth technique. How to gain smooth technique. So one of the biggest elements to becoming an effortless freediver is smooth and efficient technique. Once the way you move underwater becomes second nature and it maximizes your experience with increasing bottom time and your ability to explore, an entire new way of freediving can be unlocked, I promise. So the ultimate start to the overall smooth technique begins with your duck dive. So this is the crucial skill to get you from positive buoyancy down to neutral and then down to negative. It's also the really crucial way of how we can interact with marine life. If we have a super splashy, inefficient duck dive where we're kicking to try and get off the surface, instantly that turtle or that manta ray is going to get spooked and it's going to dive away. Excuse me. So ultimately, we want to get from the surface into the water column without generating unwanted tension or using too much energy. So you've just gone to the effort on the surface to preparing for your dive, you're relaxing, you've got your snorkel in your mouth, you're going through your relaxation phase and the zone, getting into the zone. You really don't want this to be wasted as soon as you go into your duck dive. You want that bliss that you've just maintained on the surface to transfer all the way down into the water column as you're beginning to descend. So tell me, I want you guys to rate, personally rate, no egos here. Tell me how good is your duck dive from 1 to 10. So one, if you know what a duck, if you've duck dived before, that is. So one is a duck dive that is splashing all over the place. 10 is you don't splash at all and you feel like a beautiful seal diving off the surface. Threes, 0, Tamara. Oh, we'll fix that in the Galapagos. 2.4. Accurate. Very, very precise there. No, sorry, not accurate. 6. Nice, Brienne. Yes, yes. I'd say even better. Yeah, cool, cool. A lot better with a swim up 6 or so. Yeah, yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, there's plenty of more room to move with that one. So I have got something, a video to show you. And I know from personal experience with hanging out with marine life on the Ningaloo and Lord Howe and other places in the world that this duck dive is super crucial to one, like inviting and encouraging and safe interaction with the marine animal and not scaring them away. So this element is something that we can really do work on. So I'm going to show you this video. Last year, I had this life-changing experience with this humpback whale. And there was a lot of emotions at the time. There was excitement, there was a little bit of anticipation and uncertainty. Humpback whales being as unpredictable, unpredictable animal with extremely strong pectoral and tail fins. Um, yeah, I had to be super careful with my actions underwater. But I'd never come across an animal like this that was just so interested in me and what I was doing. So I'm going to show you this video. I'm going to share it on my screen and show you my duck dive. All right, can you guys see just that video that's popped up on the side? Yep, cool. Awesome, thank you. So this is a little selfie that I took at the time when the humpback had approached me. I was in 7 meters of water. It was super blue. My heart was racing. At the start, I wasn't. I was just making sure that I felt safe and that it felt safe around me and not threatened. And I don't have a weight belt on, so the bottom time and um, yeah, time, the breath hold is very short, but I just want to show you the duck dive and how it invites the animal over. It's not scaring it. I'm keeping eye contact, and you'll see this really beautiful little interaction. So obviously super excited squeals, but I'm just going to show you again that duck dive from the top. So got my snorkel in my mouth, I've taken my breath, I've removed my snorkel, and it's a super fluid motion. I get beneath the surface. There's minimal splashing. I'm making eye contact. I do turn my back to it, but I quickly come on over to make sure that it knows that I'm looking at it and aware. Um, and obviously I pop up pretty quickly because I'm in a weddy and only about 4 meters under the water. But it is essentially, yeah, it's invited to come over and say hello. So just gonna bring up the other video. Other Yes. So moral of that is your duck dive should be an invitation to play, not scaring away the animal. So this is my number one tip for essentially the beginning of your whole technique as a freediver, but the number one crucial step to getting there. Beautiful. So number three, guys, topic number three is equalization, equalizing with ease. So firstly, does everyone know what equalization is? If you do not know, please just put a no in the chat and I'm going to run over what it is here quickly with everyone, just basically. Um, Sounds like everyone does. As a little recap, ultimately, as we descend in the water column, pressure builds in air spaces within our head. So our sinuses, our ears, and our mask. And as that pressure, airspace, as we descend in the water column, those air spaces shrink, and we need to depressurize those spaces so we don't cause damage internally. So we're essentially sending air from our lungs to these spaces using our larynx or our diaphragm and sending air to this space by blocking our and pinching our nostrils. So ultimately, when equalization comes naturally alongside efficient technique and comfortable breath holds, there's very little to think about when you're diving other than getting yourself from A to B. So I think equalization amongst the breath hold are your two major things that you want to nail as a freediver. So ultimately, what's the secret to easy equalization is early and often. I do harp this a lot to my students, but ultimately you are equalizing on the surface every single step down in the water column. So if you're a diver that only equalizes when you feel pressure, this is where you might be going wrong. As soon as you feel pressure, that creates irritation in that area, like your middle ear or your eustachian tubes. And over time, throughout the dive, that irritation can become inflamed and ultimately close up the ability to equalize and making it a tighter passage for that air to pass through, which can ultimately cause your equalization to fail pretty quickly. So equalization is a preventative. We're always wanting to do it before we feel pressure build. So equalizing at the surface every meter all the way down. Excuse me. So there can be many reasons why equalization fails. One, you're doing it too late. Two, anatomically. Three, the technique that you're using, and lack of relaxation, poor technique, and these things can all affect the way or your ability to equalize. So I had a beautiful friend who couldn't equalize past 5 meters. Um, we Yeah, she was trying everything she could on her own recreationally, and she finally asked me if I could help her. So we dove into a bit of a one-on-one mentorship, where we went deep into what she's doing, what she should be doing, the anatomy involved, different techniques, relaxation techniques, and she really dedicated time and to the exercises and built on her belief, because ultimately that's another element too that can hold us back is our lack of belief, thinking that we can't do something and ultimately our body will react to that. But ultimately it took a little while, it took dedication and time, but she got there, she cracked the code, and she's now a freedive instructor as a little bit of inspiration for you. And she's teaching, or she's just been teaching people freediving overseas in Costa Rica. So I love that success story. And she's got such great means of teaching people how to equalize now because of that challenge. So take your challenges also as means of growing your ability to teach others to freedive as well. So smooth equalization is your number one skill you must master in order to freedive effortlessly. This sometimes requires time and dedication, like you heard in my friend's story. So who here has had equalization troubles during their freediving journey? Or I also want to know, has anyone just had a completely easy equalization journey? I know I have struggled throughout mine. But let me know in the chat if it's been easy or if it's been challenging or it's been a bit of a mix. But it hurts. Okay, that's not what we want. Yep, yep, yep. We don't want it to hurt. Definitely can work on that. Okay. And only equalize when you feel pressure. Okay, well, that's an awesome tip, Charles, that hopefully will shift that for you. Yeah, yeah. We get excited and we're heading down into the water column and all of a sudden we feel that pain build. Very challenging. Yeah, depends on the day. Yeah, super normal to have one ear clearing easier than the other. Very, very normal. That's pretty much the same for everyone. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Well, heaps of place to improve there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, as a little bit of a recap, we've seen and I've heard there's obviously heaps of room for growth with everybody. And this is where I want to start to share something with you. And this is something that I really wish I had along my freediving journey, not just at the start, but also as I would as advancing and also throughout my instructor years. This would have been super beneficial. So this, I'm sure you guys like even just self-taught or prior to doing a freedive course, you might have jumped on YouTube, you might have jumped on some blog posts, or maybe you jumped on podcasts. I know that's where I try and find information, and you're spending like hours and hours just trying to find an answer that is suitable to you, which often you don't always get the answer that you want because ultimately it's not personalized just to you. Nothing seems to be clear and relevant. The online world, there's so much amazing information out there, but how do we make it relevant and valid to us, especially in the ocean and freediving realm? So I want you to imagine this. Someone said to you, there is this location. It's 8 meters deep, and there's a pod of 12 bottlenose dolphins, and you can go and explore it. Now, before the adventure, you have two options. One, you can jump online, smash out some YouTube videos, work out how to nail a super smooth duck dive, how to find that place of relaxation, feeling lonely and unsure about how to maximize this experience. Or two, you can join a community where you can ask any questions tailored to you. And it's going to open up an entire new way of experiencing the ocean. So it's like number two is the option is in your back pocket, you've got this little thing that you can ask a question or send a video, and this thing can respond back to your specific needs. So that might not have been very clear, but which one would you rather? Would you rather scrolling on YouTube and podcasts, or would you rather ask someone super easily to, and them give you a personalized response? Second, yes, yes, yes. Amazing. Beauty. Okay, so this is where I go into the exciting news that I'd love to share with you guys. Let me know if it's okay if I can share this with you now. This has gone a little bit longer than I thought it would, but we are getting through it. Okay. Amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So I have been thinking about this for a long time, and I'm super excited that you guys are the first ones ever. Haven't even told my mum about this, but you are the first ones to hear this and see what I'm offering. So I don't want you guys to feel like you can't get the inspiration or the resources or the information. I want to feel that I want to make you feel totally supported on your journey wherever you are in that. I don't want you to keep wasting time on podcasts and YouTubes and lengthy blog posts. I really want you to feel welcomed and supported in a community where you can literally ask whatever you want. And it's not a forum online where you become a nobody. It's not hard to access that you have to log in. It's a really easy, streamlined, welcoming space where ultimately, if you're at a dive site and you're even looking at the conditions and you don't know what to do, you could drop in and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? So I'm super, super excited to share with you, but this is Live for the Seas Ocean Community. So it's a community space that allows you guys to connect to each other, it allows you to meet up and essentially build on your local community and meet like-minded dive people near you. It's also a space where we can share stories, interact, and not only learn from me, but also each other. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about a community is I also have so much to learn from you guys as well. Um, so this is a space where I will tune in also once a month and I can jump in and I'll essentially ask you guys towards the end of the month what you want to learn from. So it would be in a format like this, but we would go super deep into a specific topic that would be voted by you guys. So you are all invited to Live for the Seas Ocean Community. So what is this? It's ultimately a monthly membership to everything ocean at your fingertips, right there in your back pocket. So I don't know about you, but when I try and think of a space like this that exists, I haven't found something that is super welcoming, that is woman-led, where you will be heard and you'll be responded to. And it's also super diverse in the way that we can share information. So it's through videos, it's through voice messages, photos, and yeah, obviously chats as well. Um, I mean, personally, I haven't even spent much time on forums because somewhat it's intimidating, and that's totally not what I want to create from this. It's a super welcoming, collaborative space where we can all engage and share our stories together. So, what is included? Ultimately, it's a space to chat, ask questions, share stories. You can connect to other people within the community, asking where they're from. You can share stories, questions, videos. For example, you've arrived at a dive site and you're not quite sure if it's safe or where to jump in, things like that. And yeah, building that dive community near you is ultimately what we want to do. So you can ask any questions of any type, anything. You could ask me what my favorite fin brand is. You could ask me where my favorite place to dive in Australia is. You could ask everyone who's their favorite instructor in Indonesia. It doesn't have to be about me being in the instructor, but it can be sourcing the best instructor in the Gold Coast or something like that. So you can literally jump in at any time, 24/7, and I will get back to those responses within 48 hours. Um, you can share insights amongst each other. We can share the best dive sites for crayfish or things like this, whilst also making sure we're keeping places, in a healthy state. And you're also going to have access to first dibs on resources, courses, and guest interviews, which is something that I'm super excited to introduce. All the information isn't just going to come from me. There's so many other people out there that know just as much, if not more, way more than me in all spaces on the ocean. So getting guests on board is going to be super, super important. You'll also receive first drop of dates and early bird prices for our expeditions, and get free access to our monthly Zooms where we'll talk about a specific topic that would be chosen by all of you guys. So ultimately, who is this for? This is for all dwellers of the sea. So whether you're a complete beginner, like a few of you on here, or you're already an instructor, wanting to expand your network and your knowledge, or perhaps it's those who want to build their local ocean community, or it's for those who want first dibs on our trips and apparel and potentially even VIP invites. So, what is included? Ultimately, what I was just mentioning before, so a space for you guys to chat and connect. It'll be a super streamlined space in your back pocket. You'll open a little app and it's all there for you, kind of like a feed, but a lot easier to get to than a Facebook page or an online forum or something like that. You can literally ask any question that you want. What I have for breakfast? Where did I dive today? How I look after my hair, which I don't really look after it. You can share insights amongst each other, access to first dibs on resources, courses, and more. You'll receive early bird prices for trips and again get free access to our monthly Zoom sessions. So on a space like this, where we'll be diving super deep into a specific topic. There'll also be a chance to upgrade to VIP. So this is a super personalized space where ultimately we will create specific training programs to you and your freediving journey. It could be running programs, breath hold programs, depth programs, dry training programs, whatever it is, we can tailor that to you and wherever you are in your journey, freediving journey. We'll also offer quarterly one-on-one mentorship calls on anything you want to work on. So this would be you and I one-on-one, and we're getting deep into whatever that is that you want to dive into. That could be how to build a freedive business. That could be how to live on a remote island. It could be where to study marine science. Anything under the sun. We could chat about it. Invites, VIPs will also get invites to VIP only expeditions, which is something that we are beginning to unlock. And there'll also be secret gift packs sent to your door. So this is all valued at $100 per month. However, not today, guys, not for you guys. So today, this will be launching in February. So we're still finalizing some layers of this, getting all our ducks in a row to make it as amazing and streamlined as possible. Once it's launched to the public, it'll be $29.99 per month, or an annual payment of $300. But for you guys, for the next 24 hours, and for tonight, it's going to be $19.99 per month. So, or $200 for the year. So yeah, super, lots of value there, guys. And when I sit with it and think about what this would bring to your freediving toolkit, and not just freediving, but ocean awareness as a whole and building your community, I couldn't think of a space and a place that I could get this information. So super, super excited to offer this to you guys. I am going to pop a little link in the chat now, and you guys can have a look at that. But before we head off, I want you guys to ask any questions that you might have, any reservations that you might have. Chuck it in the chat and let me know. Thanks, Francis. Thanks, Lucy. Yes, it's super, super exciting. Thanks, Ash. Can't wait to get it started and get you guys up and involved. Um, Before we head off, and if you guys don't have any more questions, I would just love you to share what might have been your biggest takeaway from this evening. What is something that sparked a trigger in your mind that perhaps you didn't know before 6 p.m. tonight? Yes. All right. Awesome. Awesome. We'll get you duck diving tomorrow. Don't you worry. Equalizing early. Awesome. So good. Yeah. Epic, Ricky. Get those duck dives happening so that you can enhance your marine encounters. Awesome, Liana. Yeah, cool. Preventative. That's it. You've got it. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Yes, Brienne. Amazing. Thank you so much to everyone coming out tonight. I'm going to stay on the chat just for a little bit longer. Let me know if you have any questions. But thank you for coming and listening and diving into all of this with me. And we'll be in touch, read the community, watch this space. Super exciting. Only